In Acorn 6, you can use the clone tool across layers to clone from a group or shape layer, and to even clone from a different image. To start, we'll demonstrate how to clone across images and how to adjust the clone tool settings. Here we have the image of some butterflies. Select the clone tool and adjust the brush size. For small adjustments, use the keyboard shortcut left bracket to decrease the brush size and right bracket to increase the brush size. Once you have the size where you want it, hold down the Option key and click once. Now, go to your other image. Make sure you have the clone tool selected, and then click on the canvas to clone the butterfly. If we keep drawing on our canvas, it's going to keep cloning the rest of the area around the butterfly. If you'd like the clone tool to behave as a stamp tool, hold down the Shift key while clicking. Let's play around with some of the other clone settings. Over here in the Inspector palette, you can see the flow percentage. By decreasing the flow, we can make our clone brush more transparent. This changes how much paint is laid down with each stroke of the clone brush. To adjust the softness, click on the cogwheel next to the brush menu, and the brush designer will appear. There are various options for customizing your brush here. If you want your clone brush to have soft edges, increase the softness setting. For hard edges, decrease. So you can see here we have a very hard edge, 0% softness. Increasing the softness can really help with blending in your cloning. You can always come back into the brush designer at any time if you want to fine-tune your settings. The next example will outline how to clone across layers. To start, we need to add a new layer to this image by clicking the plus button in the Inspector palette. And now, click on the layer you want to clone in the layers list. Adjust your clone brush settings if needed. We'll want to increase the softness to make our cloning blend in well. And we'll also decrease the flow to around 80%. Hold down the Option key while clicking to set your clone source. Then go back to the new layer you created and begin drawing. When covering up blemishes, you want to set your clone source as close as possible to the area you are covering up to try to match skin tone. If you need to select a new clone source, go back and select that layer in the layers list and Option click to set your source. You can quickly adjust the opacity of your new layer if you want to see how things look at different levels of transparency. An additional neat way to use the clone tool is for incorporating images into a shape brush or an imported brush. Let's go back to the butterfly image and Option click to set a clone source. Then go back to your new image and choose a brush. We'll use the tree brush, which comes standard with Acorn. Adjust the size and click to clone. This technique can be used to create really neat designs, as you can create your own brushes or import Photoshop brushes. And that wraps up the basics of Acorn's clone tool. Be sure to check out Acorn's written documentation on the clone tool for additional tips and tutorials.